happening Wednesday? What's happening Wednesday? Hey, what's happening Wednesday? What's happening Wednesday? Hey. Showcasing businesses, entrepreneurs, events in the community with MC Dirty. We're live here with Wednesday at 5.
Thank you so much for joining What's Happening Wednesday. It's your girl, MC Duree. Please show some love, like and share this video, and type your Cash App in the comments for your chance to receive a financial blessing from What's Happening Wednesday. Join us at 7 p.m. today for a midweek boost in faith taught by Dr. Joyce Oliver at Embassies of Christ, located at 4285 Cleveland Street in Gary, Indiana. What's Happening Wednesday appreciates our sponsors. We love you and thank you.
Little Lou's Beauty and Barber College, where we help you find your purpose and teach you practical techniques in a diverse hands-on environment, where we help perfect your skill in a trade that can lead you to financial independence. Call to enroll now. 219-884-9954. Little Lou's Beauty and Barber College.
Simply Healthy Ways offers healthy meal prep options such as garlic parmesan turkey meatballs and shrimp pasta bowls. And for your household needs, check out Simply Healthy Ways Sustainable for our eco-friendly collection of sustainable products such as coconut bowls and glass straws.
Looking for a photographer? Need help with videography? How about music? Need someone to do voiceovers? Well, Mixed Up Music Entertainment is for you. Give them a call. Or email at mumentstudio@gmail.com. If you would like to be a sponsor or on the show, DM us on the What's Happening Wednesday Facebook page or email muaderee communitypromotion@gmail.com. Now let's get ready for the show.
Yes, let's get ready for the show. What's up? It's your girl MC Duree, and you are here live with us on What's Happening Wednesday. And you know what's happening at 7 p.m. Don't meet us there, beat us there at Embassies of Christ, 4285 Cleveland Street, Gary, Indiana, for a midweek boost. And today will be Worship and Praise Wednesday. Hey, get lit for Jesus. Come on out. So, guys, I am so excited. I have these two divas, okay? I got two divas that's coming on. They are fabulous. I hope they ready for me. Y'all think they ready for me? Let's see who we have here. Let's go in right now. Boom! There they go. Hey, boom. Guess who stepped in the room? Hey. Yes, get lit, get lit.
How's everybody?
We have the fabulous Shabria Shine and
Hi,
Crystal Lynn. Look at these beauties. Look at these beauties. Now, look, guys, make sure you share this video. This is so lit. It's important. We're going to be talking about these fabulous authors, but they're also going to be special guests at the citywide book fair May 15th. Okay. You already know. Look, Chanel is on here lit. She's on here. We got people on here lit, guys. And don't forget, put your cash app in the comments. Cash app in the comments, because you know what's happening Wednesday would love to be a blessing to you. Okay, so let's get straight into it. What she said, my girls, I see y'all. See, they about to just be like, what's up?
Hey.
What's up? What's up? What's up? So look, this is how we're gonna do it. I think I'm gonna start with Crystal first, guys. I want to start with Crystal, and we're just gonna discuss what these ladies have been doing as authors. Let's just talk about it. So let me get me out the way, okay?
Sounds good. Well, again, as she said, my name is Crystal Lynn. I am the author of Pretty Raised Ugly. I published my book in, I believe it was 2016. So it's been a couple of years now. Since then, I have done book tours. I did a number of speaking engagements, and it's so interesting to see the book continue to do its own thing, providing me with opportunities like today, like in May with the book fair. And so I look forward to discussing more about it. Life has taken me on so many different paths. The book was my memoir covering the first 23 years of my life up until I graduated with my MBA. But since then, I've gone through a couple more hoops. So we're looking for book two in the near future. I just have so many things that are in the works and in process right now that I can't speak on just yet. But a book is also in that vein, and it eventually will make it to the mainstream. So I look forward to it. I know a number of people have asked, where's the next book? It was such a great book. I couldn't put it down to the end, but I had to have that suspense so that when book two comes out, whether it's, this year, next year, or, 10 years after the first one, you'll be ready for it.
Well, I guess I'm next. I'm Sharbria Shine. I'm an author. I am a speaker and entrepreneur. So I'm really excited. My first book is Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment. And my second book that I wrote was The Single Woman's Dating Guide. So I'm really excited because I'm the founder of the Single and Satisfied movement and the Virtuous Woman movement. And the Single and Satisfied book, that was pretty much just out of my personal experience of struggling in my singleness and how I became fulfilled in God and knowing who I was and self-love. And eventually, my husband did find me, happily married, so I'm excited about that. But it was all me being satisfied in who I was in God and who I was in my life and just being the best woman I could be and maxing out. So I'm excited about that. I've done a lot of speaking engagements, different places, some book signings with my books. So excited about that. And soon will be coming my first play that I wrote and I'm producing and directing, Single Woman Chronicles. So I'm just so excited to just continue to just share my journey for single women, for women who are dating and who are married. So excited to be here today.
I'm not sure where our host is. But I know your journey has been very interesting, Shambria. I've been
Yes.
following you for a number of years from when it was the single side all the way over to, where you are now. So
Yes.
congratulations. I'm so
Thank you
proud of
so
you
much.
and everything
Thank
you've
you.
done.
Now
Thanks,
this is
girl.
There she
awesome.
is. We were
There
That's
you
that's
go.
me.
like,
Well,
oh, we're gonna
that's
switch
me.
over and host too.
That's all right. You guys already know what to do. You know to keep going. Okay? Look, you
Like
guys
we
are
got this,
pros.
right?
You got this. You're pros, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. I want to talk to you guys individually, and just in case someone has some questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Crystal Lynn because both of you guys have so much to share, and we're gonna try to put as much as we possibly can in this little bit of time. Okay, so Crystal, your title of your book, Pretty Raised Ugly. Where did that title come from?
Oof. Well, the title changed a couple of times before it actually made it onto the cover. I needed it to be strong. I needed it to be powerful, but I needed it to say really what the book was about. I'm one of those quote unquote natural beauties. As you can see, I don't wear makeup very often. I just kind of let things go how they are. And all people would see is that pretty side, right? They're like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. And it didn't tell my story. It didn't tell the many, many things that I had been through. And when I wrote that book, I didn't want it to be just a pretty cover. It had to show that reflection. So if you really see the cover of the book, which I'll have in May, available for those who attend the book fair, one side of the picture kind of has this very straightforward face that almost halfway is a smile, not really. And then the other side, you can see my makeup is running. And so it shows that ugly side. So just to kind of give a little bit of background, I kind of say that I've lived about 7 lives. I've been through it all. You think of it, you've seen a movie on it. That's my life, right? And so everyone kind of stamps me as that survivor or that strong-willed person of many, many things that I probably should not have been able to overcome. But I have. I have a daughter who's now getting ready to turn 18 and graduating from high school. And then I have a 3-year-old. So that just shows you the range of where my life has been. It's the story, like I said, does stop about 5 years ago. But my challenges from relationship to overcoming abuse, I wanted to be able to share that raw, real, ugly side with individuals. So that they know you don't always look like what you've been through, and whatever you're going through, you can overcome that.
Yes, yes. And that is awesome. What gave you the courage to write that book? Because I can't say it's probably a lot of people out there who have gone through things and they're holding it in and they're keeping it and they don't know how to go and get counseling or even write it down or even tell anyone. That is so brave to tell your true story of things that happened to you. So, where did that bravery come from? Where you say, you know what, it's time, I'm just going to release this?
I ran into a lot of those individuals on the book tour too, and that's something that had me take a break from it. And it's because there are a number of women out here and even men who experience similar circumstances that still have not even confronted that issue. And so I know other authors that's written stories similar to mine. I know other survivors, but it's really about getting to that place of healing and understanding of who you are, and knowing one that a lot of the things that happen to us are not our fault. Being able to put things in perspective the way they should be. And that happens with counseling. I went to counseling for years, number of different counseling, and it's like dating. Counseling takes time to find the perfect fit. And the methods and the ways that you kind of go through the stages of healing and being able to talk through that, and journaling are all processes that I had to go through before I actually got to the point of writing the book. And I actually originally wrote my first book in college, my undergrad. And I think I started that in like 2005. And I got through probably half of the book and my computer crashed. And there was nothing in me that wanted to write anything about my story at that point anymore. So it took another almost 10 years
Wow.
before I was able to write again to that extent, to be able to show that vulnerability. So I just encourage people, when that idea hits, when that motivation is there, write it down. You can always build on it. Even with the book that I'm working on now, I'm still in the process, right? I'm not at that completion to be able to share it with the world. So working through that, working through the words, rereading my own writing. There are times I reread something from 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, and I'm like, I'm a different person. We're constantly
Wow.
evolving. So, just being present, taking care of yourself in the process, and being in a place where you're comfortable enough to know that you're going to be showing sides of you, that is a very, open and vulnerable place. You want to be healed. You want to have a support system there, and you want to know your limits, because again, it's heavy topics on whatever you're sharing, and people are going to poke at that, right? So if you're not healed from it and they're poking at it, then more than likely it's going to cause some breaking and some traction. And you don't want to be anywhere doing a speaking engagement or signing books and breaking down crying or having to get some
Yeah.
additional mental help because you just weren't ready. So that's where that fine line is between journaling and actually, getting to a point of
Mm,
publishing a story. When you can write a book and reread a book and read it out loud and, be able to read it to the masses, that's a whole nother ball game. So
mhm.
I encourage people though, because you got to heal from it. You got to get it out of you. Even if it never makes it on the shelf or no one reads it, you have to be strong enough to release some of that stuff so that you can be your best self.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I like that. You said even if it doesn't go on the shelf, get it out of you,
Yeah.
write it down. That is awesome. So, um, that was the journey in writing the book. How about publishing the book and getting it out there? Can you give us just a little of what you're going to give us at the book fair? Because I know that's probably one of the biggest questions. After you write it, who do I go to? Where do I go to? How do I get it edited? What's self-publishing? I mean, so many different questions, and I don't want you to give too much today because you're going to share. You're going to share on the 15th, but what would be some of the topics or information that you'll give to us on the 15th?
So I really will just share a little bit about editors.
Hmm.
Again, it's a process, right? It's the same as interviewing for a job or interviewing for a therapist or a boyfriend. You have to almost date this person because everyone's style is going to be very different. I think that was the most tedious part, was that back and forth with another individual. Once you're giving your book or giving your piece to someone else, their eyes and their view is going to be completely different, right? And so finding someone that um, can understand where you're coming from without changing your voice too much, but
Yeah.
also someone who's reputable is a tedious process, right? The entire process is going to be very tedious. I tell individuals that it's really for the strong will. Like, don't go in half cocked. You got to be ready
Hmm.
to go all the way and put in all your energy and all your love and probably all your resources. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be financial resources, but you are surrounded by individuals that have connections, right? And really get an idea of how that plays into this stage of your life. Is important so that you can, maximize as an author, especially in the self-publishing industry, where you can kind of get lost in the shuffle if you're not really prepared to take it on for yourself, because you're gonna have to wear all the hats.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to find the editor, you're gonna have to find the person to help you with the book cover, you're gonna have to figure out how to lay things out and where it goes, and like you said, just there's so many levels to it that we'll dive into at the book fair. It's important to just be ready for
Hmm.
to go with roll with the punches, right?
Roll with the punches, yes.
Yeah.
And tell us, where can we find your book? Where's your book?
So right now, it's still on Amazon. I think it's still an ebook. I have not searched it, but other people tell me they found my book. Just because I'm not in the active stage of publicizing it, right? There,
Hmm.
like, again, there are different stages to the book where, when you're getting ready to, let the rubber hit the road, you want to make sure that you're pushing hard in multiple different areas. So there was a period in time where they were in some local stores, right? Where people could just randomly go into this clothing store in Valpo and my book is there. I don't know why it was
Wow.
there, other than the owner asked me for some copies, right? So that again
Uh-huh.
is leveraging your network, right?
Okay.
Right now I have copies of my own, and the only reason why I have copies because let me tell you, I don't like to keep, product. But there were a number of individuals in the last 6 months who reached out to me. They're like, can I get a copy? Can I get a book? So I just, bought a small amount of books that I keep on hand in case, I have to give one or sell one to an individual. But it is available on Amazon as a hard copy, and it should still be available as an ebook.
Hmm. And I also heard that it was in the library.
It is. That's an interesting journey itself. I'm going to have to dig in my notes to see how that happened. Because reality was, it was again placement, right?
Hmm.
Wherever I was, I recall somebody from a library saying we want to buy X amount of books to place in our libraries. Now I don't remember which ones they were. You know what I mean? Like it was like, okay, that's cool. So there, I think it was, it's in the state of Indiana. I
Hmm.
think it varied from, I don't know which counties. I didn't have the details of it. I just sold them the books and they said you were going
Wow.
to be listed in the library. But that again goes into the circles that you keep
Hmm.
and the places and the positions you put yourself into. So it was just unexpected. Like I had to have someone else tell me they found the book in the library. I didn't even know it was, I didn't know it was still in there. I knew that they were buying it, but I had never seen it myself. So
Yes,
good that
yes.
it's
And
still
how long
there.
have and how long have your book been out?
It's been out since 2016.
2016.
Yeah,
That is
it's been a
awesome.
few years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then so if it's and I know because I'm making sure we're keeping up with time with you, is there if there was one thing you could change through that journey that you wrote the book, something that you know now, what would it be? And I'm talking about like with the publishing, the editing, and getting it out there. Is there something you would have changed?
I possibly, because I enjoy the entire process, honestly.
That's good. That's good.
I give more love for being an author than I do of earning an MBA. Like it was
Wow.
not for the lighthearted. Okay. Um, I would have, only thing that I may have changed was the planning process and the book tour, maybe.
Hmm.
I would have given more energy there. But in the process of from writing to publishing, I would have trusted a couple of more eyes being on it.
Hmm.
I had two editors. And I think three times is a charm because there were a couple of people who gave me some feedback and I didn't even think of them. It was really like family that reached out and was like, hey, I would have just changed this little bit. And they were very honest and transparent, but I was so in the mind of only having professionals look at it that I didn't think of maybe someone close to me needs to see this too before the final cut. So that'd probably be the only thing that I would change a little bit, is not to be so uptight about no, family doesn't need to see this. Let's just keep it for the professionals. So
Hmm.
that's the only thing that I would probably adjust a little bit in the journey.
Okay. And that book is in LaPorte County Library.
I
Just to
see that. Thanks, Chanel. Thanks. I think I heard it's in the EC library as well.
Oh, wow.
I had someone else message me about they saw it there. So again, I think I don't know which county or which, collection of libraries purchased it, but they bought about 20 of them. So they're somewhere circulating
All
in the
right.
state of Indiana.
That is awesome. So your book, and I know, usually I just love it. Once I say like, who are you? It pretty much answers all the questions. But you are in the process. I'm going to say you're in the process of impacting the community at this point. Um, with your honesty, with bringing this book to light, um, um, talking to the public, helping people in this journey of writing a book as well. Um, but how else, or what am I missing? How else do you think you impact the community, or how would you like to impact the community in the future?
I think that I can be a vessel of transparency.
That's
I
good.
I think that really living my life the best way I can and not being shared of not being afraid to share that, putting it on camera, putting it in a book,
Hmm.
um, helps people in their journey, right?
Yes.
A lot of times when we go through different struggles, we hide it. And it's not until we're like, the sun's shining and we're excited about all this money we made or this book we published or,
Hmm.
this beautiful kid I made. That's when we normally like want to throw stuff on social media. But just being transparent, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. Today's not that day. Or, I'm here and I'm aiming to go here. And this is my process in doing it. And I do those type of videos every now and then. Like I had a couple people reach out because in the month of December, I did motivational videos and I said, this is for the month of December. So January rolls around and they're like, where are the videos? I said, oh no,
Exactly.
I was motivating you back then. I should have been. That should have been enough to get you through it, a couple of months. But just, continuing to share who I am and what I'm doing. Again, I am not even the person I was when I published that book.
Hmm.
I have truly, truly evolved as a woman. I've evolved in being like a more stable, not that I was not stable, but I feel more solid in the decisions that I make and the voice that I have. And that just came with time and transparency. So, again, in a community where we have so many different outlets and so many different things kind of flashing at us. We have this in our mind that this is where we should be or this is who we should be. And sometimes who you are and where you are is good enough, right?
Good
And
enough.
seeing someone like living it and enjoying this life, like I love my life. I truly do. When my hair is messy, when it's raining outside, I'm loving this life right here. And that just comes from learning how to grow within yourself, right? And yeah, being transparent is my number one goal. Really, for my daughters, like I said, I have an 18-year-old and a 3-year-old, and even the way I look at parenting has changed,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
um, that evolving feature of a mother versus the evolving person as a woman. Um, as long as you're evolving, I think you're on the right page, right? But sometimes we don't give ourselves that credit. So
Yes.
hopefully I can be that little bit of light for someone so that they can push forward because I know there's so many gems, right? Like I'm Greek. My line name is still very relevant today. And my line name was Diamond in the Rough. And I know that our area, there's so many diamonds. There's so many gems.
Hmm.
And we're in that cave. And I just want to be able to like just kind of knock back some of that darkness,
Hmm.
so that all of us can kind of shine.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
Awesome, Krista. Loved it.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna play host again. So
Hey, girl. Hey.
we're bringing Chabria to the
Woo!
stage.
Hello, everybody. I am ready to rock and roll.
I know
What
you
you
stay
got for me,
ready.
Krista? What you got
You
for me?
you stay ready, honey. I know. Every post I see, I'm like, goodness, do she wake up like this? How do I how do I get that? How do
You're so
glow?
funny. Oh my
She
gosh.
stays on 10. Yes, yes.
Gotta keep that energy, girl. Gotta keep that energy. Like you said, having a good day, even when it's raining outside. Be trying.
Look, it's hard. I don't know what I have the wrong rollers or something because sometimes
Right? Girl, I'll be after the prayer. I'll be like, Lord, help me today.
look, let me tell you, I just came from work and it was raining, and this is the reason my hair looks like this. I just walked down the rain. I said, oh well, no
And you gotta
umbrella.
do what you gotta do. You gotta make it happen. I feel
You need
it
one of
for
those.
real. That's awesome though with your book and everything. That's amazing. Just being
Thank
transparent. I think
you.
that is so important. And I'm the same type of person. Like I feel like when you hide stuff that doesn't help anybody, but when you're just like, hey, this is me, this is what I've gone through, and my testimony is gonna help somebody else. And I just love that. So thanks for sharing your story too with everybody.
And I see
Yeah.
that in yours, right? Because I mean, you
Yeah.
being transparent, like, hey, this is where I am, this is where I stand.
Yes.
And if you stand strong, you're going to get what you want. I had that conversation
Yeah.
with one of our youth yesterday. She was talking about, eventually I want to get married. Now, mind you, this is a senior in high school. And
Okay.
she said, but my generation, they don't believe in marriage. And we're talking to
Mm,
her about going off
yeah.
to college. And I'm like, stay strong, honey. Like, because when you go to college, you're going to meet a whole nother breed of people. And
Yes.
as you enter into adulthood, you'll experience even more people. So
Yeah.
just because your immediate circle right here where you are doesn't think marriage is important, doesn't mean you should left
Right, right. Yeah, you're
you.
right. She's gonna meet so many different types of people and men in particular with different perspectives. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, a
There's
lot of
no
women kind of
compromise
do
there.
sometimes give up the
I,
hope, but you can't give up.
right. And I
You
know
gotta
both
keep
of
it
us have
going.
experience there. You can't compromise on the man. Look.
No, you can't. You're gonna live with that mistake. You can't do that one.
You'll look up and say, did I compromise myself? Yes, you did. Yes, as soon as you
Absolutely.
lowered this bar.
Yeah, I always tell the ladies in the singles movement, like, do not settle. You're gonna regret it, especially not just because you're lonely. Okay, right now you're feeling that, but if you get married and you settling, that's gonna be a worse feeling when you're like, man, because you're gonna recognize it
Mm-hmm. And
when them
all those
Wait a
red
butterflies
minute.
come.
flags, you
Where
will
are
Yes,
we
go
yes.
back
going?
in. What
Wait a
are
minute.
you gonna do? We're
We
like,
left
no,
up hanging. We
we're
start
gonna keep
talking.
going with this.
No, and then I didn't leave y'all hanging. But I'm sitting here like, oh, where's this conversation going? I said, oh, wait a
Hey, it's going good. We
minute.
can't leave
Look,
me and Crystal by
they
ourselves.
was like, oh, wait a minute. Look, new viewers started coming in like, wait a minute, they didn't switch this up. Okay, they talking about what?
Talking about the men's, the
Talking about
men.
the menses.
That
Get
get
the
their
right
attention,
one
don't
or
it?
send him back.
The
So send him back.
menses. Okay, ladies, you do not go nowhere. Stay right there real quick. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. We have Crystal Lynn and Shabria Shine on the line. And these ladies, y'all do not want to miss them for May 15th. This is just a snippet of both of them right now. Wait till you see them live, honey. They going to be lit, okay? So, last question for Crystal is, and she kind of spoke on it. She said, I believe she said she's writing a book. She's writing a book. But what is next for you?
I am working the magic right now. There are a number of things in the works. The book is one avenue of it, but I do have a big surprise that I cannot share just yet. So I just encourage people to follow me. It's going down a little bit of a different path, but it is inspiring. It is fun. It is about us in this area. And so I just am really excited about the new project. I currently work, like I said, my book is 5 years old. So you had to do something within the last 5 years, right? So I currently work in public relations, and that all stems from the work that I did with my book, right? Like I said, you wearing all these hats, you got to figure stuff out. So I figured out how to do my own PR, right? And so now I do that as a living, and I absolutely love it, right? Being
That's
able to be
awesome.
behind the scenes, really helping other businesses thrive with getting them coverage, news coverage, supporting them on social media, different things like that. It's kind of grown into a whole craft just because of my love of what I did with my book. And so, again, I encourage people to just stay in that vein of whatever it is you're doing, because eventually they all kind of piece and mesh together into something beautiful. We don't know the outcome, but as long as you're doing what you love, you're staying true to yourself, it ends up working out somehow.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much for
having
coming
me.
on. I know you have to run. So
Yes,
we're
I'm sorry.
so we're gonna say bye to you.
Bye,
Thank
I
you
will see you
so
Crystal.
all
much.
soon next month. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so you will
Yeah.
see these lovely ladies, okay, May 15th. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you follow them on social media as well. But you will see them at the Citywide Book Fair. That's May 15th from 12 to 3:30. And that is at The Attraction in Griffith, Indiana. So bye, Crystal.
All
Mwah. We love you
right.
so much. We
Bye.
will see
Take
you
care.
soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. All righty. So we have Miss Shabria, guys. So I hope you guys are
Hello.
still with us. Okay. So same question goes here. I already know that you kind of introduced yourself and what you're doing right now. But tell us, where did this book come from? Where did it come
Yes.
from? When did you say, you know what? I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book about this
Yes.
single life. I ain't got time for it no more. Enough is enough. Enough
Yes.
is enough. Tell us about
Well, I never thought I was going to write a book, and especially not about being single. But it actually started off because I started blogging. You know, I was struggling in my singleness. I was going through relationships. Then I just started being single, like I'm done with the games. Then I started just struggling, and I was so miserable in my singleness. And I had to ask myself, am I going to stay miserable because I don't have a man in my life? And I'm like, honey, no. And so I started just sharing my experiences on my blog about faith, my love, self love, like just being single. And I started recognizing other single women were feeling the exact same way. And we were just encouraging each other. They were loving the post. And I thought I was writing another blog post, and it was entitled Single Still Single. No, Help, I'm Still Single. I'm sorry. And it never ended, you guys. Like, it was not a blog post because it just continued to flow from me, and it just continued and continued. And it's like the Lord was like, this is a book. And I'm like, a book? I thought this was just a post. And that's just where it was birthed from. It was birthed from my experiences. It was birthed from my journey as being a loveaholic, from rebounding, from being hurt, just from the assaults against my heart, from being a single woman, just that we just want to be loved, and the issues that women go through, and just the loneliness, the rejection. And I even talked about sex in it, and the things we run to when we are tired of waiting for a mate or for that special someone. And I go through so many things in the book, but it started off as a blog post, but it never ended. So that's kind of where the inspiration for Single and Satisfied came from.
Okay, and what year did your book come out? What
It
year?
actually came out in 2019. It's so funny. It
Yes.
was pre-ordered right before I got engaged. It was just a very interesting situation. And everybody was wondering, like, was she single and satisfied the whole time? Or did she have a man hiding under her sleeve the whole time? She coming up with the single and satisfied book. But it was like, no, like God did it in such an amazing way that right before I published a book, I actually met my husband. He proposed within like 6 months of meeting me, and we got married like within a year. So everything happened so fast, but it was so right. It was so God. And that's right. He actually helped me promote the book. So it was a very interesting
Yes, he
situation.
did. Wait a minute. Yes, he did. Okay, because I saw him at the events. Okay,
Yes, you
and
saw him at the events.
and we're
He
looking
definitely
like
was a supporter.
we're looking at the book like single, and who is he? Is who?
Yep.
What?
Like she
Wait a
ain't too
minute.
single right now.
Talking about this, my husband single. It say single on this.
Yep, yep. You're right. You're right. It happened right at the same time. And I was like, am I really going to put this out? But it was like the truth is that I was so satisfied. And he found me when I was right there publishing my book. It was like a godsend. It was like I was satisfied, and I was like, I don't need no man, Lord. I'm good. But then the Lord started working that desire back in my heart for a godly husband. And literally, y'all, he found me. He wasn't playing no games. And it just happened so fast. And again, as you know, he helped me promote the book, and people were like, okay, I want to hear more of this story. How did she find him? So actually he found me. So yeah, it was an interesting story, but it was pretty cool. Thanks, Chanel. I see you said it's a must read. So thankful. Thank you so much. Thanks for the love, girl.
And then so what's interesting about your journey with single life. And a lot of single women or singles, I'm just going to say a lot of singles have the question of when am I going to find somebody? When they
Yeah.
coming? I'm tired of waiting. What's
Hmm.
going on? But if that is what your purpose to do, just sit and wait on anybody, you're going to get anybody. But while you're in purpose that God has for you, so you were purposed to write that book. And in your
Yeah.
purpose, like you said, you wasn't thinking about nobody. You had the blinders. You had
Yes.
already been through everything. You had your blinders on, and then
Yeah.
he come knocking at the door.
Yes.
So, for any singles out there, be in purpose. Be in purpose. I'm telling you, he or she will come. You won't be thinking about anything but what God has purpose for you. And that
Yeah.
mate is just going to appear in purpose, which makes it the best thing since sliced bread because
Girl,
you
yes.
don't have to explain to this individual what your purpose is. They felt you in purpose. They understand your purpose. So it's not you're not going to have a back and forth. Okay? I love that. I love that. So wait a minute. So and satisfied. And
Yes.
give us something in that book that we satisfied with. Just a little
All right.
synopsis.
Okay. So for me, I think one of the greatest compliments that my husband gave me when he met me was that he loved that I was like living my own life. He was like, "Girl, you doing your thing. Like you had your own life, and that was so attractive. Like I was so satisfied and maxing out in my season. It was like I was doing me. Like I was loving myself. I was, pouring into me, self care. I was pursuing those God given dreams that I had. I was pursuing I went back to school. Like I said, I was doing the blog. I was in women's groups. Like I was planning hangouts with my friends and trips. Like I was just maxing out at life. And I think being satisfied, just period, has a lot to do with being satisfied with you and your life. And I always say, one of my biggest quotes for the movement is, I'm no damsel in distress. Girl, create a life that you don't feel like you need rescuing from. Because when that man comes, he still can't rescue you, boo. I always say it. I'm like, he can give you love and affection and be a great partner, but he cannot fulfill you. So you got to learn how to be fulfilled within God and yourself. And whatever you don't like, girl, change it. You have the power to change it. And so that's kind of what I mean when I say being satisfied with who God created you to be. And if you don't like your life, you have the authority and ability to change that. So that's what I mean when I say being satisfied.
Yes, yes, girl, come through. Come through.
You're
Okay.
so funny.
Come through. Tell them what it's about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Somebody said, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. And I know we have some singles on here. Make sure you guys are sharing the video. Yes, they need this book. They need this book. And like she said, she was satisfied. She was doing her own thing. She didn't need anybody else. Okay. To satisfy that. That's what we're
Yes.
saying. We're not saying, oh, I don't need anybody, because God did not create us like that. Okay.
Yeah,
But she didn't need a man or someone to define who she was.
absolutely.
Actually, you were actually finding yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so important as a single, period, just to know who you are. And I spent a lot of time by myself, right, in my single season. And so I just learned to love who I was, but I reflected a lot. I reflected on what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses in the past relationships, where was I wrong in certain areas, and what was some of my good areas that some of the men maybe didn't appreciate. And then I had to ask myself, okay, so what kind of woman do I want to be right now? Am I the type of woman that the husband that I want, that he would desire? Am I that kind of woman? If not, what are those areas to work on? And I worked on those things. And of course, we're not perfect, but you have to work on yourself. Be reflective. Become the best woman you can be, first and foremost for yourself, not for somebody else. But again, your husband or future wife, they'll be so much happier that you worked on yourself and knew yourself. Again, you got to know what you desire. And maybe you don't know everything you desire, but like, but I know what I don't desire. So when that shows up, you're like, no, 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 that's not it. So just spend time knowing yourself, getting to know you. A lot of times in singleness, people don't want to be alone. They're afraid to be alone. They hate to be alone. But you got to learn how to love your own company first. Because when you get married, your husband's not perfect or your wife won't be perfect. So you still got to learn to love you and have that alone time as well.
It seems like you can only hear me when I come on this stream.
Yes. Were you talking to me? Oh yes, girl,
Yes,
I didn't
I'm
even hear you.
yes.
I
That's
am
okay. So I
sorry.
guess I'm gonna have to stay on the stream. I like to give, the person their own
That's
platform, but
okay, girl. Stay with me.
every time I go off, I'm having like this good conversation too. I'm
Oh
like
no,
talking.
yes, girl, stay on. It's
That's
okay.
okay. No, but what I was saying is I was just saying that the other day, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to be able to love someone else?
Yes, so
How? But you want to
important.
love someone else, or you want somebody to love you and you don't even know who you are. We
Yes,
have to find out who we are. Um,
absolutely.
so you have another book,
Yes.
correct?
Hmm.
Tell
Yeah.
us about it.
So this book, it's an ebook right now, but it is the Single Woman's Dating Guide. And I wrote that book because I have so many questions and I get so many questions from women all the time about my dating process or advice, and how to date from a Christian woman's perspective, and that's online dating, and I mean just everything. I get so many questions about sex and just so much. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just put all this information in a book. And then I was like, let me help the ladies out. Because honestly, me and my husband saw a lot of counsel before our little courtship or before we started dating, because we were like, we want to do it God's way. We want to do this right. We need some wisdom. I'm like, I didn't do it right in the past. I need some wisdom. And so I kind of just took some wisdom that I learned, but also that the Lord taught me just through trial and error with our relationship. And I just want to be a blessing to other women so they don't have to feel lost. And some things I just wish somebody would have taught me, told me, trained me up. And so that's pretty much that book. I mean, that book talks about everything. First date do's and don'ts. It talks about sex, sexual boundaries. It talks about how to realize or recognize warning signs, questions you should ask
Mm.
before you say I do or before you're really serious about a person, man fasting. I mean, I talk about everything. Now I kind of get down to nitty gritty in that one.
I love
Everything.
it. So how long did it take to write that book?
Now that book did not take long. There was just such a fun book to write because I
Okay.
also teach a lot. I go into schools as well with high school kids and teach about relationships, dating, and love. So it was just
Yeah.
in me. So I was
Yeah.
like, this is just gonna be fun. And I believe I probably wrote that because it's like a quick tip book, maybe in a month,
Wow. Because
maybe
like you
two.
said, it was in you. It was
Yeah,
in you, so it was
I
easy.
would say my first book took me the longest. I'm actually writing another book now about purity, but the first book took me the longest. I was more apprehensive. You know how
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
time you do something, and this
yeah.
time I was like, I got this. I can do it. Yep.
So how many books do you think you have in you?
Well, probably a lot. I've actually probably now written 5 books. They're not all published. Yeah, because I also write books for teens and I have not yet published those yet. But
Okay.
probably a lot. I love expressing myself. I love talking. I love writing. I love creating. So probably a lot.
Probably a lot. And what's
Yeah.
your background? What's your background? Is it in education, writing? What is it?
So actually, it's in business. So
Okay.
yeah, business. Yeah, a degree.
This
Yeah, so
yes. Okay.
business. But my background in school actually was the arts. So I went to a performing arts school, and then I went back to school for business once I started to excel in running a business, and I kept getting promoted, and I realized, I have a knack for this. So I started to do that. Went to school for business. Yep. And as far as the writing, no, always was great with communication. Always was great with writing and doing speeches and papers and things like that. But
Mhm.
never formally like went to school to focus on that. Yeah. So
Okay, well,
business.
it was a gift. It's a
Yeah.
gift that he gave you. Yes,
Hmm.
that is so awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and so okay, School of Arts. School of
Yep.
Arts. So what do? We sing, we act. What?
Yes, ma'am. So growing up, I was into musical theater, went for dance, and then just went to acting, dance, and singing. So, yep, singing, dancing, acting, and I just wrote a play. So we'll see a little bit of that soon in the Single Woman Chronicles. Yes.
The Single Woman
Hmm.
Chronicles.
Yes.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I love that. So
Thank you.
you just finished your play. You
Yes.
see, okay. So
Mhm.
when
Well, we're
is it
hoping this
coming?
year, if we look, keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed and keep praying.
Yes, yes. Keep
Yes.
praying, keep praying. Girl, let me know about the auditions, girl. Let
Yes.
me know.
Yes, girl. Yes.
I would love that. Look, I just turn on the lights. If you just need me to turn the lights, I'll turn the lights on,
You
girl.
are so
I
funny.
just want to be a part of it. I love to be a part of great things. things. Just be a
Yes.
part of great things. Yes. So, um, now we have the books. You now this is very interesting. You say you go to the schools and you speak to the children. I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
So are, are you going just in the area? Are you traveling to do that?
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit more.
Sure. So I work independently with one mentor group, and then I actually have a full contract with another one. And so, yes, absolutely. So I did that for 7 years when I was just going to middle schools. And now I'm actually going into high schools, and I love it. So I do that. It's Porter County, Lake County. And then virtually, I do some of my relationships with younger adults all over because I can do that virtually. But yeah, in the classrooms with the high school kids, I love it. So we talk about dating, relationships, warning signs, healthy and unhealthy and abusive relationships, your success sequence for your life. How do you see yourself in the future? Also, we talk about sex, abstinence, contraception, just how to have a healthy and whole future and how to have healthy relationships. So I love that because me and my husband get to do a lot of tag teaming in the schools and also
I love it.
yeah, it's awesome. Even being newlyweds, but being able to work together is awesome. And virtually, we're able to go everywhere to talk to adults and teens, and we love talking about healthy relationships. Yeah.
Now, did your husband do anything like this before he met you? Or did this just
Well,
all come about, you know?
I say a little bit. He did work with youth groups and things like that, and
Okay.
he did go because he is a coach. He did go around and speak to teens, yes, young
Okay.
adults. But more on the relationship side, yeah, it was kind of because he's married to me now, more so. Yep.
Yeah. Girl, that's how it
I
happens.
pulled him into it. I pulled him into it. I was like, "You gonna have to get on these with
Girl.
me."
Me too. I pull my this is all I pull my husband to all of this. Do
Yes,
you
I
hear me?
pull my husband into everything. I'm like, so I'm also do music. I'm like, babe, you need to help me with this. You need to do that.
That's how you know you're in purpose. That is you're a mighty man of
Yes.
God when it's no toil to do it, when it connects just
Yeah.
like that. I mean I adore my husband because he was what I was missing in all of what I was doing. I was still doing great
Yep.
things, but with him with me, I mean, we are changing the atmosphere
Did
and
he
we're
just take
doing
it
it
like to another
together.
level?
I'm
Like,
telling you, I'm
yes.
just telling you,
I
okay,
feel
we
you.
lit, we lit
Yes.
out there, okay?
Yeah, I feel you. Yep. I
That is
always say that's
awesome.
awesome. I think for me, the biggest thing was for a man to support me, to actually support my God given dreams and purposes. And I am very outgoing, I will not lie. And every man cannot handle me, and I get that.
Girl, boo, girl,
I'm
boo.
very strong in my convictions and who I am. And I love you're absolutely right. Like my husband took what I do to another level, and I'm so
Yes.
appreciative to it. And like you said, that's how you know it's a God thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so confident.
Yes.
He doesn't feel it's like he doesn't feel like his light is shining any darker just because I'm so bright. And I've dated
Yes.
men who are like, you need to tone down. And I'm like, tone what
Girl,
down? This is me. What
girl,
are you
come on.
talking
Okay, that's over. Oh,
about? Yes.
hit the door. No,
Yeah.
hello, you still here? No.
Yes. It's like you gotta go with that. No, you gotta be who God created you to be. You cannot dim your light.
Yes, you
So
cannot have anybody dim your light, and I feel
no.
you on that. And that's so awesome that you're able to talk to teens, talk to singles, because we believe sometimes we have to change. We have to dim our light, or we have to,
Yeah.
tone it down a little bit. And no, it's not like that.
Mhm.
We do not get into relationships to change each other. And a
No.
lot of times people have been confused thinking that's what it's about. Soon as I get into this relationship, I'm gonna change you from this, I'm gonna change you from that. The thing
Mhm.
about it is, once you meet someone and it's not just going that well, it's okay to say bye. It's
Yes.
okay.
All right. You're right. It should be no pressure.
Yeah, let's try not to fit that puzzle piece is not going in. Stop it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not going in. So that is so awesome. That's so awesome. So look, tell us a little bit of what you're going to give us May 15th as a published author. Don't give us too much because we
Okay.
anticipate to see you live, but just tell us a little bit about what you can give us.
Sure. I would definitely say don't get overwhelmed with the process. I think when you hear about, oh, you have to get an editor, you have to get a book designer, you have to get a website, you have to get a publisher, I think that it can be overwhelming at first to some, not all, or it can, I've heard a lot of people like, you know what, I got a book in me, but I can't go. It's overwhelming. I would say just start the book. Don't get discouraged. Start the book and don't be afraid to self publish. Don't even be afraid to sell on your website or even start where you are. Sell from your Facebook page or sell from Instagram. I'm a person who feels like, oh, I have to have all of it before I get started. And my husband is a very much like make it happen person. Girl, you don't have to have all of that if you just want to get the message out. So it just depends how you want to go about it. But if you have something burning in your heart and you want to share that with your audience or your friends or your family, I would say go for it and do that. And of course, we could talk about all the technical parts on the
Hmm.
15th, but just get it out. Just start to write. I'm very probably untraditional where I mostly led with my bloggers, mostly people who read my blog. It wasn't a big, I have to be at the biggest stores. I have a genuine audience who we connect and I have a message that I believe will be a blessing to them. So I don't have to wait until I get a book publishing deal. I can publish now or, extend my book, offer it now to those who are already following me. So, yeah, but we'll get
Wow.
more into it. I'm a fan of both ways. I think you just have to find what's the best fit for you at the time of your publishing. So,
That's awesome. Awesome. And this is going to be so awesome. And real quick, let me just go and talk to the audience. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging in here. Usually we're off in about a half an hour. But with the two guests, this has been very awesome. I hope you've gotten some nuggets from both of these ladies. And I hope you come out May 15th. That's May 15th to the attraction in Griffith, Indiana for the citywide book fair where these two ladies will be there as our special guests, and we're going to have some awesome authors there that are going to be selling their books, networking, and so much more. So put it in your calendar. It's a free event. Come out, come support the local authors on May 15th from 12 to 3:30 at the attraction. Okay, so Miss Shabria, so you've already said how you're impacting the community. When you said that you go out to the schools, baby, bye. That was it. That I ain't need to ask you another question. That was it. Cause going out here to the schools, baby,
that's
that's
another
one.
level, huh?
That's another level right there. You out there
It
talking
is.
to the teens, you out there. But that is so awesome that you have the opportunity to pour into them. That
Yes.
is an awesome ministry. And you're impacting the community already, but is it something maybe we missed? How else do you think you or would you like to impact your community?
I would just really want to continue just to be a light for our young women. And yes, going to the schools, that definitely is something. I'm also a mentor for another organization, just showing them that there's hope and that they can achieve their dreams. I think in the time we live in, sometimes there can be a hopelessness in certain communities, and it doesn't have to be. I think when we just show up and show what's possible and help guide them through what they're going through and to their dreams, I think that we can totally change our communities. And so I just want to continue to do that. I want to continue to just push the limits on what I do to show other people it's possible and to include those in the community. So.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So besides, excuse me, these books, what's next for you?
Well, more productions. That's what you can look forward to. This Saturday, I'm actually doing a dinner and live music event. So I'll be doing more of those and more plays and musicals. And again, another book. So you'll begin to see my productions that come from my books. And that's what you'll be seeing more of in the future. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for taking this time out and talking to your listening audience,
Yes.
letting them know what they can expect on May 15th. I can't wait to just hug both of you awesome ladies, okay? Have that transfer spirit, okay? Okay, but it is going to be awesome. Do you have any last words for your listening audience at this time?
I just want to encourage them, whatever season you're in, go for it. I have a podcast called Max Out Girl, and that's really what I mean. Max out whatever season, whether you're single, whether you're dating, whether you don't know what you're doing right now, whether you're married, like just go for it. The things that God have put on your heart to do, go for it. And you could truly be amazed at what God accomplishes through you. So that's
Yes,
it.
and so you say you had a podcast, so how can we
Oh,
listen
oh,
to your
sure.
podcast and
Of
how do
course.
we find you on Facebook? Give us that
Yeah.
information.
Yep. So you can go to Sharbria Shine anywhere on all social media, or you can go to my fan page, Sharbria on Facebook. Also, Max Out Girl. That is my podcast. So it's available on all podcast platforms. And again, that's also on Twitter and Instagram, Max Out Girl. Yep. Oh,
Yes,
and I'm
yes.
sorry, Sharbria.com for my book and resources and everything else, music and stuff.
Yes, and I apologize. I did not ask that. So we can get your book online.
Yep, on Sharbria.com. If you want the ebook for Single and Satisfied, that's on Amazon, but all my other books are on Sharbria.com. Yep.
All right, all right. So don't go anywhere. Thank you so much. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, hanging in with these awesome ladies. They are simply fabulous. So yes, this was kind of a lengthy video, but please share this video. These women have given us so much information, and I anticipate seeing all of you on May 15th, okay, where I will be your MC for the citywide book fair, May 15th. That's going to be at The Attraction in Griffith, Indiana from 12 to 3:30. Do you hear me, guys? Don't go anywhere.
What's happening Wednesday? What's happening
We
Wednesday?
hope you enjoyed the show and join us after 5 every Wednesday for What's Happening Wednesday. Also, don't forget to join us 7 p.m. at Embassies of Christ at 4285 Cleveland Street in Gary, Indiana for your midweek boost in faith. What's Happening Wednesday would like to thank our sponsors. We love you and appreciate you. If you would like to be a sponsor or on the show, DM What's Happening Wednesday on our Facebook page or email MUADerie communitypromotion@gmail.com. Thank you for your support. Now go be a blessing and share this video. You never know who may need it. And we will see you next